Hey, I want to talk to you about medical records and how to limit the costs of acquiring medical records in four simple steps. So, number one, when you need medical records to evaluate a case, you don't need everything. So, it's better in some cases, rather than asking for all dates of treatment, better to specify the dates of treatment that you need to evaluate the case and what parts of the record you need. So, for example, if you're evaluating a surgical negligence case, a hospitalization might be 1,000 pages, but you can limit the request to the operative report, consultation reports, and a discharge summary. So rather than getting 500 pages or 1,000, you just narrowed that request down to about 10 pages. So just by doing that simple step, you've dramatically reduced the records. But let's say that that's not an option. You have a client who's horribly injured in a wreck and you need all dates of treatment, period. What can you do? Many hospitals and many medical groups will, number two, have a patient portal where your clients can retrieve the medical records without any charge. So simply go on the website of the hospital or the medical group, find out if they have a patient portal, and then have your client use the portal. They'll need a password to retrieve the records, and electronically that once they retrieve the records, they can share them with you through Google Drive or Dropbox. So that's a fairly simple way of doing it. Number three, the HITECH Act of 2009 gave patients the right to get medical records in the format of their choice, whether that be paper copies or electronic medical records. So the patients do have that right. Until recently, attorneys and third parties also had the right to request our clients' records in electronic format only. There was a recent lower court decision that basically held that lawyers do not have that right, which is absurd. But let's say that you need to get a large volume of records from a hospital. Your clients still have the right to get the records in digital format. So you can prepare a letter, a form letter that you give to your client with specific instructions to ask for the medical records in digital or electronic format only, pursuant to the HITECH Act of 2009. So they'll get the records. Records are delivered to them on a CD. Then they send the CD to you, but doing that simple step, and I know it's inconvenient, but that simple step just saved you hundreds, if not $1,000, of getting these ridiculous photocopy charges. In New York State, hospitals and doctors can charge 75 cents per page, and companies like Ciox, which is a third-party medical record retrieval company, they're going to charge you astronomical sums of money for the photocopy expenses. So what we've got here is the HITECH Act of 2009 that still gives your clients the right to retrieve records in digital or electronic format only. So what we've gone through here is not four, but three steps. Use the patient portal, limit your request to specific dates and treatment and parts of the medical record. And if all else fails, have your clients request the records directly for digital records. So those steps alone can save you a fortune because these bills get astronomical. Now, a fourth step that I have for you is that there are some medical providers that still request your request for electronic records. So, for example, MRO is a company based in Norristown, Pennsylvania. They are a medical record retrieval company, and they do have a portal where third-party requesters can ask for records in electronic format only. So even though the HITECH Act of 2009 states that it does not apply to attorneys, there are some doctors and hospitals out there that are still honoring requests for electronic records. Number one, this will eliminate shipping fees, mailing fees, but also the photocopy fees cannot be charged for electronic records. So even though the HITECH Act of 2009 is technically no longer applicable to attorneys, many hospitals and doctors will still honor that. So those are my four simple, quick tips for limiting the costs of acquiring medical records for your clients. I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a comment. Just say, hey, John, I appreciate this note, and what other advice or tips do you have? I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoy this, please subscribe. There is a little bell where if you click the bell, you'll be notified every time I post a new YouTube video, which I do every day. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.